And I would never forget something that our mentor and our pastor told us when we were in our process. He said, you make your marriage what you want it to be. He said, Ashley, forget what you have seen. Michael, forget what you have seen, right? You embrace the possibilities of what this can be for you, and you rewrite that. You dream big. You whatever you desire for yourselves and for your marriage, don't put a cap on it. That's, you become your own goals, basically. That's what he was telling us. Like, you become your own relationship goals. And I think that's what we've done.
What path are you really choosing in that? And I feel like with all the circumstances and the things that you've been through, you still chose to take a positive way of life. You still chose to figure out a way to continue to, get in touch with your higher self.
Right.
So,
and I think that's that just like you said, I chose, right? And I think it is a choice. It is a choice to continue to push past the pain and the hurt. Not to say I didn't feel it, right? I think it's okay to feel, but I believe that the greatest thing I've ever done was continue to get back up over and over and over again. So, yeah.
So, I mean, now you're married. So
now
this is a new adventure. Here we are. New
adventure.
So you're married to the man of your dreams, the love of your life, the one you're attracted to, the best kisser on the first interaction, all of that. So how did you envision yourself as a wife before you got married? And do you feel like you are still trying to get to that goal?
Yeah, no. What's crazy is that I never envisioned myself to be married. Never desired marriage. Never desired children. I desired a career. I desired to, be that rich auntie, right? I desired to be bi-coastal and have a house in New York and Los Angeles and maybe London and be successful at whatever career I chose for myself. But I never had dreams of marriage or dreams of what dress I'll wear, my wedding day, or when a lot of my peers are like, oh, I want 3 kids. I'm like, yeah, no kids. I don't want that. Right. I think that I learned to dream new dreams when I met Michael.
Mm-hmm. So when that happened and you are experiencing these new dreams, was it a little bit of pushback, or was it something, I'm diving head in because I love this man. I'm going to be with this man. Let's do this together.
Right. I think for me, it was really about embracing the newness of what the possibility of being in union with someone is. And I was scared. I was like, I come from a family where divorce is very prominent in terms of divorce is happening. And I was just like, well, maybe even if we do get together, it may not last. And I was making almost a deal with myself. I don't know if deal is the right word, but I'm like, okay, well, we can get married, and if we divorce, we divorce. You know what I'm saying?
What was your view on relationships at a young age, and then now you're a grown woman now going through these similar situations? And you also looked at your aunts as inspiration.
Yeah.
Your mom as inspiration. How did you view them in relationships? And is that something you felt like you might have wanted? Oh, dropping the mic. Look at that. Terrible. Is it something that you wanted for yourself, or you wanted something different from what they had?
Right. I think I wanted something different, but I don't think I've ever remember seeing a relationship growing up where I was like, I want that. Never. I never seen in my eyes what I would deem as, oh, this is a successful marriage, or this is what I want for my life. I've never seen that. And for me, I didn't even know what that would look like in marriage. I just knew that marriage was good. I knew that I wanted to be with this man, and I was starting to accept the possibilities of what this can become. And I would never forget something that our mentor and our pastor told us when we were in our process. He said, you make your marriage what you want it to be. He said, Ashley, forget what you have seen. Michael, forget what you have seen, right? You embrace the possibilities of what this can be for you, and you rewrite that. You dream big. You whatever you desire for yourselves and for your marriage, don't put a cap on it. that's you become your own goals. Basically, that's what he was telling us. Like, you become your own relationship goals. And I think that's what we've done. Like, we've never like looked at any other marriage like, oh, I want to be that. I want to emulate that. Or I want our marriage to be like that. Because now that I'm married, like, you don't be knowing what people go through behind closed doors. You know what I'm saying? Like, even the most influential marriages or couples, you don't know those people behind closed doors.
So where do you feel like you take accountability on your faults or the things that you felt like you fell short?
Yeah.
And just like, wow, I was really wrong. I'm sorry. I feel bad, but I want to fix that.
Right. Well, let's just say it didn't happen like that in the beginning, right? So we got married, and quickly, within 6 to 8 months of the marriage, I feel that the bliss went away. Because now we were really doing life together. It's one thing talking to someone over Skype and FaceTime and living long distance and professing your love for each other. But it's another thing when you're living with someone you've never lived before. We moved to another state we've never been before, and everything was just so new. The marriage was new. The state was new. He had a new job. I still was trying to pursue entrepreneurship, releasing books, trying to get that off the ground. Mm-hmm. And it was just, it quickly, the bliss really went away because life started happening. Mm-hmm. And you gotta, look, love don't pay the bills. Love do not pay the bills, right? And, the stressors of life happened really quickly for us when we were just trying to figure it out, when we were just a young couple just trying to maneuver and figure it out. And, we had to battle through some things. And mind you, I'm coming with all my trauma. I'm coming with all of my baggage. I'm coming with all my, you got to love me this way and that way. And he's coming with all his baggage of whatever he was carrying. And we had to figure out how to make it work. So to answer your question, it didn't start off like, oh, I'm just going to own all my stuff. It's like, no, I'm going to tell you how I feel, because I've been telling people how I feel, and he's going to shut down the way he's going to shut down, because that's what he's been operating in as long as he's been operating in. So it was a lot of growing pains and a lot of evolving in our marriage and a lot of dying to ourselves, because I don't think you can coexist with someone if you're not willing to change. Right? If you're not willing to look at yourself and say, man, I got to do some hard work. Right. And I had to do that. I had to do that for myself. He had to do that for himself. And as much as we did the work individually with ourselves, it showed up in our marriage with each other.
Your faith in God is very important to you.
Oh, yes.
So what were you leaning on when it came to just looking to God and wanting to figure out what you want to do moving forward within this marriage and be a better wife than you are now?
Yeah. One of the things I was looking to God was like, God, I used to come to God about Michael, like, God, he did this, or change him. And then he was like, no, I'm going to change you. Right. And my conviction was not so much about what I needed to change with Michael, but how I needed to change myself. Because what was triggering me a lot of times in our marriage was things that I had to deal with. Like, I couldn't make this man pay for every man in my life who disappointed me, right? I couldn't make him pay for all the times I felt rejections in my life, right? And I had to do a work within myself, and God had to really show me a mirror within myself. But most importantly, God showed me, like, listen, I created him. And if you want to know how his general makeup is, if you want to know who he is, come to me and I'll give you insight. And I always tell my husband, I say, your greatest weapon as a man is the fact that you have a discerning and prayerful wife. Like, I'm a very discerning and prayerful woman. And I go to God on behalf of my family, and God gives me insight, and he gives me knowledge on where and how I need to encourage and love my husband, and how I need to show up for my daughter. He gives me that insight. And to me, that's a weapon. That's a weapon, because he created these humans, right? I just get to experience them. I just get to coexist with them, right? They're a gift, but they're ultimately God's. I don't own them. I just get to experience them. And he gives me that insight on how to be a mother to Artist Joy, and how to be a wife to Michael. And that's a gift. It's a gift of discernment and prayer. And I definitely, it's nobody but the Lord who helps me through that process, right? It's nobody but God, so.
That is beautiful. All right.
you.
Yes. I love it.